Hey nerds, and welcome to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Theories and Conspiracies. I'm Brian from Good Nerd Bad Nerd. Thanks so much for all you guys who are commenting down below. I just wanted to start off by saying that I appreciate the time you guys take to watch this and to give me your theories and your ideas about what's happening. I do read them all again. If I'm not able to respond to everyone, I apologize, but I do read the comments. So thank you for that. But this week we had the episode Regret, and there was just a lot happening in this episode. Not too much to draw on for theories, but there was just a lot of great stuff that happened. So starting it off, the first thing, Trip lives. I gotta say this starting off for this one, this would have been so much more impactful to me if it hadn't been spoiled an hour after it aired on the East Coast. The hard thing about being on the West Coast or even watching it the next morning is as soon as something happens, there's already a story about it up on Facebook, and you don't even get the chance to not see it. So I love that Trip was back. I can't wait to see a little more of him in the next few episodes. But the thing about this is it's a little bittersweet because there's no way for him to get back into the real world. So it's a nice guest appearance, and it's just going to make me wish we had more Trip. But sadly, we just get these few episodes with him. And that goes the same for anyone else that we see in the framework, is that unless they've got maybe something to do with the Project Looking Glass, there really is no way to bring them back into the real world, to resurrect them, as it were. So that was the first thing. Next, Fitz's dad. So we finally get to meet his elusive dad, Alistair Fitz. Fitz's dad actually gives us the biggest hint as to what the framework is actually based on from the comic. Now, there is no character by the name of Alistair Fitz, but there is a character by the name of Alistair Stewart. Now, he was a secret agent of sorts, initially with a group called WHO, which WHO stands for Weird Happenings Organization. He had a lot of dealings with Excalibur, which is basically Britain's version of the Avengers. He's Scottish. He did have some abilities, but those are kind of irrelevant to what we're talking about here. Now, the reason he is interesting and how he's a nice parallel for what's happening and how I think we can get the framework based off of his connection is during his time with WHO and working with Excalibur, there was an incident where a train that was carrying Moira McTaggart got replaced by a train from another Earth. And this was from Earth 597. Now, Earth 597 was an Earth where the Nazis had won World War II. And the version of Moira McTaggart that was on the train was a woman by the name of Moira Kinrose. Sorry, I had to look at my notes. Moira Kinrose, and she was the head genetic research scientist for the Nazis. So she had a position very much like what Fitz has within Hydra. Lead scientist, he's specializing in the inhuman stuff. So there's a lot of connections here, a lot of parallels. So this Earth that we see Alistair Stewart and Excalibur having to deal with here, it has a lot of similarities to what we know is happening in the framework. So that was probably something that was very interesting. And while I don't think it's a direct parallel that Alistair Fitz is based off of Alistair Stewart, I do think that's kind of, it's too similar. There's too many coincidences there for them not to have known about this character when they decided to name Fitz's father Alistair. So that's kind of really the kind of most out there theory I have based on this week's episode. But there were some other great things that happened. Next, Daisy and May. So Daisy has just had a rough episode, and it ends with May, who doesn't know about her real life outside of the framework, but May is still May. I think that's something that everyone, you have to understand about everyone in this. You are still who you are. Obviously, Fitz is the one that we are struggling with the most right now, but May is still May, and she saw those kids and the situation that essentially she had helped put them in, and she couldn't handle it. She couldn't stomach it. So May brings Daisy a Terrigen crystal and lets her go through Terrigenesis, expecting Daisy to get her powers, the powers Daisy is expecting to have being her Quake powers. Here's where they left it a mystery, and I know in the comments there was some speculation about what powers Daisy would actually get. I'm pretty sure she will get her Quake powers. Now, I don't think we're going to see any of the side effects that she had in the real world about them damaging her bones or anything like that. But I think it is very possible that she comes out of it and just goes full tilt. We know that she's going to be branded as a terrorist, but I don't think she's going to wake up with other powers. That would, with the amount of time we know they have left in the framework, I think that is too much of a stretch for what they have. Getting Skye to relearn those abilities and come to terms with that, there's just not enough time. I think that's the key here. So that Daisy will have her powers next week, and it will be great to see her and May fighting side by side again. Hopefully this means we get May back next week, real May, and she joins up with the rest of the team as well. So next, Mace's death. Jason O'Mara, you had to go and die on us, didn't you? That was the definition of, the noble sacrifice. He didn't know he had a life out there. He doesn't know what he was sacrificing for, but this is just the kind of character he was. He got to be the hero that he always wanted to be, and I think that was an amazing scene. But the flip side of this is we see Ada back out in the real world, and she disconnects Mace's body from the framework. We could hear the tone, so we knew he was dead. When you, like the Matrix, when you die in the framework, you're dead in real life. His body may have still been functioning, but I don't think it was. Some people were speculating that his body was functioning and it was Ada who actually killed the body. I don't think it matters. Partly people were speculating that because they were hoping that Trip or someone else would be able to take over Mace's body, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think we're going to see anything like that, which is why I don't think any of these characters who are making their guest appearances will be able to exist outside of the framework, unless there is an LMD that is made for them, and they are allowed to kind of jump into that and inhabit that. So what do you guys think? Are you enjoying the framework so far? What do you think of Trip's arrival and Mace's sacrifice? Let me know what you guys think below and how you think this is going. And definitely give me your theories on what's happening and who else you think we might be in store to see. Because I really hope we do get some more surprises down the road for characters that have either died or maybe some new characters from the comics that they're going to sneak in. That would be awesome too. So let me know what you guys think. And until next week, guys, I'm Brian from Good Nerd, Bad Nerd, and this has been Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Theories and Conspiracies.